a few minutes late, about 4 minutes, late, and I'll explain once I get the chat up and everything what went wrong, but hopefully we are live. Let me just double check here and see if I can find the video on my iPad. Sometimes it takes a moment for it to show up. Part 2, is this it? This is it. There we go. And we got a bunch of folks in the house. Ken's in the house, and Benson is in the house. Lewis is in the house, and Durr's in the house. Are we going live? It's been going since 1 p.m. Uh-oh, I don't know what that means. I already grilled up some sandwiches and got myself a bourbon. I saw that stuff looked good. I'm sure Craig will be here soon. He probably just putting his tie and sport coat on and a comfortable pair of swim trunks. Yeah, I was going to put a tie on. I got a call about 5 minutes to 5 from a client who I've got a video shoot scheduled with tomorrow. She's already put it off twice. I got a call from a client, and so I had to talk to her. So I got delayed, and Steve's going to be coming in. So I didn't have time to, as you can see, I didn't put on a tie. I do not have a sport coat on. I do have a Gitman Brothers shirt, though. One of my favorite Gitman Brothers shirts. So there's that. Steve is calling. Let's patch him in. Let's patch in the Stevester. Let me make him full screen and get my headset on so that I can hear him, because it's always good. It's always good to be able to hear Steve. Can you hear me, Steve? Oh, all of a sudden I lost your video feed for some reason. I'll switch back to mine until we get that feedback. I had your video feed, Steve, and then I lost it. So I can hear feedback. Steve's got the show going somewhere.
I'm not really hearing you clearly. I'm not
testing
sure
1 2. Testing 1 2.
Okay, let me.
Okay, testing 1 2. I'm testing. We're trying to get the Stevester live. We got your video. Can you hear me?
All right, let's see. How about that?
Testing 1 2. I can hear you. Video looks good. Can you hear me? He's not here. He's hearing me on delay through the broadcast. He's not hearing me through Skype. You've got to listen through Skype, Stevester. Got to get me through Skype.
Do you have my voice?
I can hear your voice, but evidently you can't hear me through Skype. You've got to be hearing me through Skype.
Not really getting you clearly.
Yeah, you've got to hear me through Skype. You've got to turn on Skype so that you can hear me through Skype.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm trying to do that.
Yeah, okay. So once we get that sorted out, we'll be ready to go. And let's see. Carlos says hello from Panama.
Not through Skype right now.
And Blue says we are live. And if you need to call me back to get Skype doing its thing, you might have to do that.
Let's get this.
And Blue says we are live. And we are live, folks. Okay, the Steve Master's in the house. Steve has some slight technical difficulties, but we'll get that hopefully sorted out.
Well, it was because we were so late getting on.
Sooner rather than later, hopefully we'll get that sorted out. And let's see.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I think we're good now.
I've pretty much heard you the whole time.
Okay.
So if you can hear me, we're good. And I just switched over to you. You're on the screen. You look sharp. You look sharp. I am not wearing a sport coat or suit or tie because I was, as you know, delayed by a client phone call who had some issues. So I had to deal with that.
I'll take care of that part, Craig.
And so next time I will have them call you because you're really good at handling issues. So that's probably the better way to do that. When you want something done, you give it to a busy man. And Steve's a busy man, so that's what they say, right? Isn't that what they say? You want something done, you give it to a busy man?
I haven't heard that one before.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of busy men, what do you have to show us? I see a watch. I see a picture of a watch.
Yeah, let me get this little picture-in-picture out of here. Today I've got a bunch of Grand Seikos by request.
Wow, that looks sharp. That really looks good.
And So this one is the SBGN013, and this is I've shown it before, but today I'm going to run through a number of GMTs, which probably right now is a semi-useless complication since most of us aren't going anywhere. So just more for fun. So
I keep mine on the real time as opposed to the daylight savings time, so that I always know what the real time is.
okay, and why does that matter to you?
Because if I'm walking outside and I want to get the maximum amount of vitamin D, the highest part of the sun now is 1 o'clock instead of noon,
Okay,
because they messed around with the time. So the sun
got
is
it.
highest in the sky at 1 p.m. as opposed to noon.
Craig knows all these factoids. It's amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
that's not exactly that complicated.
right. Well, no, but
But I
it's
do like
interesting.
this red. This one has the red hand like mine has. I like the red hand, and the
Uh,
red GMT.
yeah,
Um,
black dial.
yeah, that is stunning.
Yeah, and this no screw down crown on that, no characters on the bezel,
But nice and
and
thin, nice and trim.
yeah, nice piece.
Yeah.
And today I'm not doing any measuring. I just
No,
sort
no
of
worries. That one is a
I'm
nice
I'm
size.
rebelling. I'm
No,
rebelling.
that one is a nice size. It's a
Yeah,
very nice size, and that could serve as an all-arounder, dress slash sport slash everything. Now it's
absolutely.
still 10 bars waterproof, right?
It is.
So yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
good to go. You can swim with that puppy, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says buy Bitcoin in the chat, and Guy says I sold. Durick silly whatever his name is. Guy, I sold the tutor to wants cash back. Oh well.
He can't
Uh,
get off that tutor of
um,
his, can
yeah,
he?
that's a shame. Once you buy one of those, you're kind of stuck with it. It's really a problem. Go with
Right.
GS next time, Grand Seiko. You one of those issues. Carlos, somebody's asking Carlos, how are you? We're worried. Okay, so let's get a health report on Carlos. And Durr says it looks orange on my screen. Nice watch. No, I don't think it's orange. I think that GMT hand is red on that one, isn't
Yeah.
it, Steve?
You're getting that little picture in picture that I'm seeing
Yeah,
online?
yeah. We're getting the
I
picture
can't
in
get rid
picture.
of that. I don't know why that I used it and then it persists. So
There should be a button, either effects A or B button. See the
I know I
effects?
turned it off and let's see. We got the delay, of course. So
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not sure why that
yeah,
would
we're gonna have to
be.
live with it for the
Okay,
time being. I just don't know what's
okay,
causing that.
um,
Sorry.
okay. So, but that is red, right? That GMT hand.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And okay, so and color white balance on these cameras, it's very difficult to get the white balance exactly right on these things. So we really need to see these puppies in person. Of course, that's a little more
But not now.
challenging. That's
Not
a
now
little
in the
more
store.
challenging
Sorry.
these days. Yeah. So let Steve examine it in person and relay to you over the phone what he's seeing, because his eyes are phenomenal. He just had his eyes fixed, so
I did.
he can do that. The
They're
Dubai
unbelievable.
expat is in the house. He says buy gold. There you go.
Uh,
Absolutely, and buy a gold stunner from Steve. He's got some stunners, gold stunners on the way,
hmm
so buy those. If Corona crisis keeps going and destroys the economy, gold will be the best option. Dubai expat. I think I would rather have Bitcoin personally, but yeah, I have both, so I've got it covered either way. Durr says the second picture in the video chat is a Cyclops. Haha.
Right. Right.
Okay.
I can't get rid of it. It's a Rolex Cyclops.
Okay. When times are rough, Tudor is always a great investment. Why buy gold? Oh my gosh. These people have got Tudor on the brain. They really do.
Right. Right.
Carlos says, I'm really fine. I do not have any symptoms anymore. A bit sad with the 24-hour curfew. Never had my liberty restricted like this. Oh,
Mm,
well, at least you've got a pool in the backyard. You can
right.
take a dip in the pool. And Kevin says, I'm loving these daily shows. Kevin in the house, he's got a wrench. All right,
Ah,
so what else do we have?
okay. Next up, we have a spring drive GMT, and this is the good old SBGE 201 with the sapphire bezel. Lovely piece. Now, this got a little bit scarce for a while. We
Now,
sold out and waited about 6 weeks to be replenished, and this just came back in the last
and
couple of
that's the
days.
theme of this show, folks, is act now. It's the time to buy Grand Seikos is now because there are going to be some shortages. And David's in the house, and he says hello to Steve and all. David Williams.
Hey, David,
He's
how you
he's
doing?
got he's got a nice piece. He's got the 005 Stunner, and he's got it
Mm-hmm.
so that he can have it on a bracelet or a strap, a deployant strap. That's a stunner, that GMT.
Yeah, it's
Now,
beautiful.
that one does have, is it a sapphire
Sapphire
bezel?
bezel.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sapphire bezel, not to be confused with ceramic,
Mm-hmm.
sapphire. And it looks stunning.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous piece. It really is.
It's got loom, and now that one's a brand new piece.
Uh, when you say the piece is new, but it's the model has been around for a while.
Yeah. Oh, look at that loom. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Two Steves. Yeah, there's two Steves when he's on the main camera because he's still got his picture-in-picture going on the Roland switcher. He doesn't seem to be able to push the A or B button.
Can't get rid of it.
Um,
I'll have to do it offline, but I cannot see it in my local setup. It only when it punches through to the internet that you're all seeing. I'm not seeing it on my monitor at all.
so
So
you still have the preview monitor, the show preview monitor, and it's not
I have,
showing up on that.
yeah, I have two monitors. One is a little preview monitor, and then the other is the output.
Yeah, and it's not showing up on the
Not
output
on either
monitor.
one. Yeah, it's very strange. And
That
then
is that is.
all the buttons. I probably have to do something
You might need to
like that,
restart the
like the
Roland
Roland.
or yeah, restart it or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
also
not during the
yeah,
show.
in
Not to
addition to
interrupt
pushing
that.
the A and B button, you can turn that effects dial. The dial might have something to do with it too. That
Yeah,
round dial next to the A and B.
yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, but you can play with
anything.
that when you get a chance.
Yeah, I'm fiddling with it, but it just doesn't do it.
Yeah, so
So
that's what we got with live TV. Now, the Dubai expat says, Craig, every watch company has shortages. If you ask them, go to Dubai Mall, and every store will tell you that they're out of stock, but maybe they find a very rare last piece for you, LOL. Well, here's the thing. The difference between most watch dealers, ADs, and the Stevester is with the Stevester, you get the straight scoop. He doesn't hide the ball. He doesn't play games. He gives you the straight scoop. If he tells you something, you can take it pretty much to the bank. And that's what this channel's all about, is giving our viewers the straight scoop. And he has just straight up had some models that have been tricky to get a hold of. I mean, that's just been the case. So nobody can tell the future, but I'm just telling you right now that if you want a particular model, I would get it sooner rather than later. It would be my plan. What's exactly why I have two of them sitting right here.
hmm
So that GMT spring drive is unreal. I almost bought that instead of the Snowflake when I was at the timeout event at Little Treasury. The bracelet needs micro adjustments though. They're in the house.
mm.
Yeah,
It didn't.
it's
It
a
didn't fit you there. It didn't fit you at the time.
well. I think he just likes micro adjustments on a sport
Right.
watch.
Well, sometimes you got to compromise a bit. It's a terrific piece,
That's
and
the
it would fit
thing.
very well with the snowflake in a collection, in my opinion.
Now, of course, the 231 has micro adjustments, so maybe he wants to step up to the 231.
Mm.
Do you have a
Well, see.
231 in stock?
Yes, I do,
There you go,
and
Dirk.
the 229 as well.
The
We have
two,
a. We're actually pretty well stocked. They're very well stocked.
yeah,
Just a couple of pieces like this that are a little slippery to bring in.
yeah, yeah.
Whoops, my camera just
So,
tripped off.
David says, I'll switch back to mine while you're sorting that out. Oh, there it is. It's back on.
Mhm.
David Williams says, excellent GMT, one shown. Too large for my wrist, unfortunately. SPGN 005 works well. Yep, the 005 is what I have on wrist right now, and it's just a very comfortable, nice trim, very comfortable watch. It's about a tie. It's about as comfortable as my 231, and that's saying a lot because the 231 is very comfortable. Steve's tie is really well tied, unless it's a clip-on, of course.
It comes
Okay.
attached to the shirt. It's an ensemble. Everything's
Yeah.
together.
There you
It's just a
go.
bib, actually, for the
Yeah.
show.
So, Steve, does that spring drive GMT have drilled lugs? Probably does, right? Most of their sport ones do.
Drilled
Yeah,
through.
it does. Yep. Which I love on a sport watch. I think all sport watches should have drilled lugs. I don't think sport watches should go the pansy route and try to look
Yeah.
cute because they don't have drilled lugs. These are supposed to be tool watches, folks. Let's see here. Brett says, who is the guy on here, Craig? It is Steve from Little Treasury Jewelers. Steve, the proprietor of Little Treasury Jewelers, and the link is in the description. He is a Grand Seiko AD, and so he's showing us a few watches, the Stevester. So, Brent, meet Steve.
Hi, how are you doing?
Okay.
I'm not seeing the post, though, but...
It's in the chat here, and okay. So my tutor was mistaken for
we get back on the tutor.
for an Invicta. Oh my gosh, it was mistaken. So Durr says the SBGN 005 looks great on your wrist, David Williams. I'm a total bracelet guy, but your watch rocks on that strap and the deployant buckle. Yeah, I was really impressed when I saw that. And Derek says, Bree coming on, no woman like that where I come from. She comes in from time to time, so you just stay tuned, and from time to time, lovely Brianna will pop in and say hi. She's a big watch fan, and she's a big social media guru, so yeah, absolutely. And let's see, I'm going to skip the Invicta comments for now. Let's see, Steve does not do clip-ons, says David. Let's see. I would buy one. No sarcasm. I don't know who. Oh, he's probably talking about a tutor. Yeah, I would skip on that. Steve went from dark to blackout. No, he's not blacked out now. He's okay now. The
back.
odds are I'll probably pick up that GMT spring drive next time I visit in Maryland. Durr in the house. I wouldn't blame him for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait.
Well, there you go. My Speedy has no micro adjustments. I have it so that sometimes it's a little loose and sometimes my wrist expands for a perfect fit. Yeah, that's kind of the way you have to go. If you don't have micro adjustments, is you have to, in my opinion, you have to fit it for the time of the year when your wrist is, the biggest. And then there are going to be times in the year when it's going to be a little bit loose, because I don't think you want it like extra tight. You don't want that to be the case. At least I don't like that to be the case. Now this 005 right now that I have on wrist is kind of sized more for the winter time. So when it gets really warm, this will be a little bit tight, but I don't really wear it in the summertime. I'm usually wearing my 231 then, because I got my sleeves rolled up. It's hot. And I'm wearing the 231. So it's not really an issue for me. So if you have a 2-watch rotation like that, that can be a solution too. You size one for the winter time and size the other one for the summertime. Right, Steve?
Absolutely.
So
I'm going to give you another one here. And how's that for a stunning piece?
That is nice.
Yeah.
That's a classic looking piece, and that's a high beat.
SBGJ high beat, SBGJ 217.
Okay.
Beautiful piece from the Heritage Collection.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the box crystal. If I get that in proper focus. There we go.
It's just a really classic looking, timeless looking watch.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're very deep in these high beat GMTs. I'm going to show you a couple more.
And it's going to be very, very robust and pretty accurate for an automatic. It's going to be right up there with the accuracy of a Rolex or others. It's going to be right up there. And let's see. And somebody asked again about your bracelet.
About the faux pay?
Yeah, they asked again about that. And
maybe my wife will grab a couple from this show. Oh, they're all put away. Sorry. Remember, we're not open to the public.
And Leslie said, "Where's Bree? Hey guys." Well, Leslie, she pops in from time to time, but hey, message her on social media and hook up with her. And by the way, Leslie, you can come in and show your watch too. I think Leslie doesn't she have a Rolex? I think she does. You can pop in, use Skype and pop into the show. We always like to have guests. Lewis says, yes, those footwear bracelets are nice. If it didn't interfere with my watch fund, I would consider one. Let's see. Maybe Steve can do a package deal with you.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe he can do a package deal. Wow, that is a stunner.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now is that rose gold? It looks more like yellow gold.
Well, we discussed that yesterday. It's rose gold that verges on yellow.
Okay.
So it's very light rose gold.
So looks really nice.
Bridges the gap.
I'm just amazed how well that thing holds up.
Yep. Do you see those little springs in there?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's all 18 karat gold.
It is.
That's mind-boggling.
And do you see how the springs are compressing when I extend it?
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
The construction of it is amazing.
And everything's still tight after 3 years or so.
Okay, and Durr says, Lusar, that's always the problem. I don't have a gold watch yet, so a gold bracelet wouldn't pair well. As I don't mix metals, that's why I want to get a date first, then the faux pay from Steve. Good move, Durr. Sell some of those steel Rolexes you have.
Yeah.
And move into the gold. That's what I say.
Or you can get a two-tone something.
Nah, all gold for Durr. Durr's the man. He can go all gold. He's going to be ready to go all gold for his dress watch, and then a nice titanium 231 for the sport watch, and that'd be a great mix for him. David, Steve, once the situation is resolved, any plans for another event, or will you wait until October for the timeout?
No, we'll definitely have events. We had things lined up for this spring, and hopefully, if anything changes, we'll be able to do a couple of events with the brands, and we always do. And but let's see what happens with this situation. It's pretty rough.
It's day by day situation. Yep. And Durr says, good question, David. I can't wait to get the gang back together in Maryland for another event. And and you'll probably have an after party at the house, right?
Well, it's a toga party, I guess.
Toga party at the house.
Carlos is mandated.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but you got to bring your own toga.
Yeah. There's another piece. There's a stunner, another high beat.
It's another GMT from the Heritage Collection. And this is the SBGJ 219. Very beautiful.
Yep, that is nice. Again, another good all-arounder. Now, is that a deployant buckle on that? Or is it a pen buckle?
It is. Mm-hmm.
Deployant. Yeah, okay. Looks good. Yeah, it looks sharp. Do you find those deployants on those to be comfortable?
Well, I have one on my SBGE 033, and I like it.
Okay.
It's fairly low lying. Whoops, I'm losing a little camera action here.
Just go back to mine while you sort that out.
Yeah, it's
back. There we go. It's back, just like that.
For some reason, it's...
So you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're nice.
And here's a question from Durr. Steve, can you tell us about the Project Possible watch from Vermont? Also, Mike Pearson was let go by Vermont due to the virus. It's a real shame.
I know. It's very sad. So I'll do something upcoming. I do not have that Project Impossible watch in stock at the moment. and I can give you more information on it at a later time.
Mm-hmm.
For those that you don't know, it commemorates the scaling of the top 14 peaks in the world
Mm-hmm.
by a spokesman for Bremont, who did it in 7 months. And I think the record before was almost 2 years that someone had scaled all 14. So an amazing feat. And the fellow is affiliated with the British military. He's a Gurkha as well, obviously tough as nails. He was in the New York boutique. We were invited to an event, but we obviously couldn't go a couple of weeks ago, where they introduced him and the watch. So, as with many other pieces, it's just in a delayed mode right now.
I heard he learned all his hand-to-hand combat skills from you. That's what the rumor that was
Well,
kicking
we
around.
can't talk about that,
Yeah,
Craig. You know that.
yeah, we got to be careful, especially on live
Please,
television.
please. You're
Uh,
up there in Thurmont in
yeah,
the fortress, but
secret location. Yeah.
I'm out here in a different situation.
And Leslie says, I can't dance. That's why I'm reaching out to Bree. We are here waiting for Kyle's watch to get here. Oh, is it coming today? When is it coming? Okay.
Yeah.
Duck Tran, does GS make an all gold watch for the U.S. market? I guess what he means is gold head and gold bracelet.
Not at this time. At one point, we could get, I suppose I can get one of those. I'm not quite sure what the status is going to be with everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have them here in the store for a brief period of time. And but it's not in the catalog for the
Was that
U.S.
like a
per
couple of
se.
years ago? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
hmm
So,
And I have photographs of them and beautiful pieces, white gold as well as yellow.
so they're not common to say the least.
No, no, but
So talk to Steve if you want something like that. Talk to Steve and maybe he can make it happen. And Kevin says, I love having a steel sports and a gold dress. It's a versatile combo.
right.
Absolutely. And I think one of the gold there's several now gold Grand Seikos that have the alligator strap with the deployant clasp
hmm
that are gorgeous, and that's a really good option if you have a sport watch to rotate it with. So you don't really need an all steel, all gold, watch if you've got a sport watch to rotate it with. Like on days when you'd be going out and your wrist would be sweating and things like that. Just wear the sport watch.
hmm
Brent sent in a photo of your two-tone date just. Oh, did you send one to me, Kyle? What are you saying there? I don't understand what you're saying. David says GS deployant and strap are great. There you go. Steve, do you keep GS straps and deployant buckles in stock?
We keep the deployants in stock, um, and we have several, I think right now, long lead time on those parts. So I think it took us 6 months to get the ones we have in stock. We don't keep the straps. We can order those, of course, but they're fairly pricey, and we just don't stock them.
And Leslie has a Citizen and a Bulova, and she loves them both. And Steve is a Citizen dealer, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we'll be doing another Citizen show at some point, showing off a bunch of Citizens also. If Basel World 2020 is postponed to 2021, does that mean there'll be two Basel Worlds in 2021?
I doubt it.
They'll be lucky if they can pull off one at the rate they're going. I think the
Right.
shows are all going to be at Steve's place. I think that's where we're headed. Is the important watch shows are going to be at Little Treasury Jewelers. LittleTreasury.com is the place to go to find out about that. And there's another stunner.
Yeah, this is a beauty. I haven't had this, and this is another piece that we've had for a while and sold out, and just got this back in. There's a bit of a wait, and that is the SBGJ 201. There's a lot of interest in this piece.
Mm-hmm.
It has the Mount Iwate dial, the textured dial that I hope you can see through.
Looks similar to a Snowflake, similar.
It's a little different. It's got
Mm-hmm.
those striations emanating from the center,
Mm-hmm. Stunning.
and but it does represent windblown snow on Mount Iwate that they can see outside of their watch studio, and very subtle. Some of these watches, including this piece, are still in the factory wrap. I like to just keep
Mm-hmm.
them that way if we
Sure.
haven't had to unwrap them.
Sure.
So it's even more beautiful when you're not looking through the plastic. So,
Yeah. And in person, they always look better
right.
anyway. And Durr says, I love Steve's sense of humor. He's so quick with the witty comebacks. Always great. Ha ha. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well, I have a really good straight man, so it's not that difficult.
Steve's always the witty one for sure. Watch Time New York is the new Baselworld. I just said Little Treasury is the new Baselworld, so that's how that works. That's those are the shows that really matter are the ones at Little Treasury. The rest are just noise
Mm.
out there. Speaking of deployants and straps, Steve, are you able to source both from Meistersinger?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Approximate pricing.
Reasonable.
Re-
Nothing to worry about. We're talking about $100 for a strap, and very
Yeah.
nominal.
So yeah. So he'll always take good care of David. That's always going to happen.
Yeah.
And Brent is in the house. Don't have it on me, ATM. Otherwise, I would. Not sure what he means. Darn. We want to see that one. Kyle Jet. What is he
To see
talking about?
which one?
Yeah, what do you want to see? Just testing the waters. Does Steve have an SBGA 375?
SBGA 375. Refresh me on that one. That's
That might be a gold watch.
no. Hang on, I gotta look at my inventory over here.
I can never keep up with these numbers. I can barely keep up with the numbers of the ones I own. Let's see. Brent, let's see that Rolex. Okay, good to know. Thanks from David. And what else? Oh,
Okay.
anybody that
Uh,
wants to Skype in, just email me and I can give you the information if you want to Skype in.
yeah, we don't have it in stock at the moment.
Is that something that you normally stock, or is that a tricky one? Or
Uh, Not a huge stalker of it.
Mhm.
We rotate through. We usually have about 50 some pieces in stock,
Mhm.
and we sometimes we'll just sell something down and let it
Mhm.
sit for a while, and then bring it back in when someone inquires.
Yeah.
So
And Durr says I can't even keep up with the numbers from the ladies, let alone the GS model numbers. Yeah, he
the
gets all those phone numbers written
phone number. Oh, right,
on match boxes. You know, so that's the deal there. Um,
right.
Steve, I would like to come visit your shop, but unfortunately, we here in Europe are banner. In other words, can't come. Is that what you're saying, Stig? Well, that's going to change. You're going to
Yeah,
be able to
I
come.
can't open. I'm
They're going to,
physically can't open. I
yeah.
can.
When we have the parties, you'll know about it. We'll talk about it in advance. But in the meantime, you can hang out with Steve virtually. You're going to be
Yeah,
doing some virtual consultations with clients as well, correct?
sure. We can Skype in one on one.
Yeah.
And we're really ramping that whole capability up. We're going to start doing some live things on Facebook as well, and start introducing a little bit of jewelry and
Mhm.
other everyday carry things here on this channel, and just mix it up a bit.
Yeah. Good.
So, but we've gotten, as I said, we're not open, and just my wife and I are here in the store
And
uh, holding the fort and answering calls and emails. But our whole staff now can uh, get into their individual computers here in the store and communicate with their customers from their home.
good.
Just got that set up today.
Good. So, folks, get in touch if you want a personal virtual consultation. They'll make that happen for you. And Derek says, my neighbor is trying to sell me his Litecoin. Yeah, I would pass on Litecoin. I would pass on any of the altcoins. That would be a no-fly zone for me. And just buy Bitcoin and hold it. Not financial advice, but that's what I do. Let's see. Steve, what is the most difficult GS, non-limited or special edition to get? Also, what is the top GS seller in the store?
No question, Snowflake.
Snowflake's the top seller. Okay.
Yeah. Probably
And what's the
like
hardest?
7 or 8 to 1.
And what's the
I keep
hardest to
losing
get?
this camera, and it's back on again. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so that's the most popular. What's the hardest to get?
The hardest to get?
Non-limited
Well,
edition.
a lot of the limited editions have sold out very quickly. So, yeah, they're hard to get. And we're actually starting to pick up quite a few, not quite a few, but a substantial, surprising number of the rarities like the Peacock, and offering them pre-owned.
Pre-owned. But as far as the non-limited edition, are there any models that are tricky for you to get?
Well, right now, the blue Snowflake, we've been waiting a while for. It's not a limited edition.
Okay.
But I think we are about 2 months into it. The spring and winter models from the U.S. only seasons collection
are tricky.
Yeah, they dribble in 2 or 3, and we always have pre-orders, so they never hit the showcase. They're always going out to the customers. And if you want one of those, you really should get it on a list.
Absolutely.
It's not such a huge weight, but they're just not enough to hold and put out in the case.
Steve, who had better taste in Patek, McCartney or Lennon?
I don't have a clue.
Did they even wear Patek watches? I don't know. Let's see. Derek, Litecoin is a crap coin. Well, I would just skip on all the altcoins. They're all wannabes. They're not going to go anywhere. They're literally 5,000 of them. I mean, there's one Bitcoin. There's 5,000 of them. So, I mean, pick your poison. Joey's in the house. No financial advice, but get Ripple and Stellar. You must be joking. Oh, jeez. Talk about a bag of hurt. Does Steve have the SBGH 281?
He does.
There you go, Kevin.
Give me a call.
Looks like time for a deal. And Tevin, and by the way, Joey doesn't have a wrench, and he's probably not going to get one if he recommends Ripple and Stellar. I hope he was joking. Kevin doesn't have a wrench. If you buy the SBGH 281 live on the show here right now, we'll get you a wrench. You have to call Steve on his cell phone and do a side deal right now.
Yeah.
And we will get you a wrench just like that. And let's see. Derek says, I don't leave the house these days without stellar lumens on me. Yeah, I would pass on that. And Joey, Derek, thumbs up. All right, Cheetown says, hey, fellows. He's popping in, coming in late.
Hey, how you doing?
Let me refresh here and just see. Put any questions. I think we're going to be wrapping up here fairly soon, so put any questions in the chat so that we can deal with them promptly. And folks, if you do want other folks to Skype in, whoever that may be, reach out to them and have them get in touch with me. And we love to have guests Skype in and show their collection, show their watch, whatever. We'll bring them in, especially if they're recommended by a member of the Wrench Gang. We'll bring them into the show. This is an interactive show. And this guy got scammed by OneCoin. That was a scam out there. This guy says, I have most of my net worth tied up in OneCoin. That was a total scam. Get rich quick scam. Craig, what's your favorite GS? I have to say the 231. I have to say the 231, we'll show it right now on the camera. That titanium diver is absolutely amazing. And the story behind that, I bought the Shogun, the Seiko Shogun, and had it for a couple of years, did a review on it. Fantastic titanium watch, super comfortable on wrist, but it ran slow. And I learned about the Grand Seiko is kind of just a major step up from that watch. And then finally I saw one in person at Little Treasury and had to have it. And so that's what kind of started this whole Grand Seiko rabbit hole. And it's just a fantastic piece to wear and use all the time. It's a fantastic heavy use piece. Would you agree that the 231's a heavy use piece, Steve?
Absolutely. It's a fabulous
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah. And now what do we have on screen?
Well, this is the Godzilla that someone was asking about the other day. And Godzilla spring drive and the famous lion's tooth case.
Mm-hmm.
Limited edition, sapphire bezel. And Mr. Godzilla graces the back.
And does that have a deployant clasp?
This camera is giving me fits. I'll have to get a Sony.
Lost the camera for a second there. Well, we'll cut back when he's got it on. And there we go. Titanium.
Yeah.
I see that. And that has a deployant clasp, right?
Here it is.
Yeah.
In titanium.
Wow. That's an amazing piece.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so if somebody wants something really special, that's the deal with Grand Seiko, is when you buy a Grand Seiko, you can really pick, and he's got a great selection, and you can really pick something that, you know, you're not going to bump into every Joe on the street is going to have that on his wrist. I can tell you that right now. You're going to get something really special, and with a spring drive, it's going to keep fantastic time, and it's literally going to run for decades without having to do a thing to it. And, yeah, that's what you've got going on there. Lennon had a gold Patek chronograph with calendar, and McCartney had an old Aquanaut. Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Stig says, Steve, as a matter of fact, I have a toga from Kabul, Afghanistan, so when you have your local Basel World, I should blend in just fine.
And coming over from Denmark, I hope.
And I have most of my net worth tied up in one coin. Oh, that was a bad mistake. Craig, what you already read that. I'm behind here. Okay, sorry I'm late. I had to take my life into my hands and pick up groceries. Well, there you go. Let's see. Oh, Bree, speaking of Brianna, the lovely Brianna is in the chat, and she says hi to everyone. And there we got another stunner on the screen. This one's got gold indices and hands, and that's called the gold Snowflake, right?
Yeah, SBGA 259.
Are those a little tricky to get?
Yeah, that got a little scarce for a while. We had to wait a bit to get this replenished. Mm-hmm. So there's quite a few pieces out there that are a weight at least, and so we're happy to have it.
And Leon says, overseas mail is still going through. I just bought a G-Shock GW5000, Japan market G-Shock from Japan on Tuesday, and it arrived at my home today. Leon in the house. Mail is working. Good. And Brianna says, hey, Leslie, and a little smiling face. And Leslie says, hi. So they got a little chatting while his camera goes out again. We'll switch back to mine while we figure that out. I can switch back pretty quick, back and forth. I'm pretty good on these buttons.
You are.
I'm the guy on the buttons. And Bree Fitdance says, I would love the rose gold Rolex watch. Uh-oh, she's moved up to rose gold. I don't know about Brianna drifting towards Rolex. We might need to...
no, you reel her back in.
There might need to be an intervention on that. And Leslie says that'd be a good choice. I love rose gold, Leslie says. And Bree says, Bree, I should buy you one pre-owned, of course, blue in the house. Yeah, that'd be okay. A pre-owned one in really good shape, box and papers, would be a good move. And Leslie said, it looks so pretty in the sun. Okay. And Bree has spoken. She wants rose gold Rolex Dur, says in the house. Maybe he's going to send her one. Leslie says, Brent, now you know what Bree wants. There you go. Oh, yes, I love sunny days like today. Okay. And missed Wrench Gang giveaway yesterday. Triforce Rich. Who knows Triforce Rich? Who wants to vouch for him for a wrench? We'll hook him up with a wrench. And Blue says, lovely gold snowflake. And Kyle says, Craig, did you get my email yesterday? Yes, I did. Unfortunately, I forgot to talk about it, but yes, I did. Remind me after Steve pops out. We'll pull that up. I think I still have it. Stig says, Lady Brianna, cheers. And Buserv says, Steve, is there a bracelet option for the Godzilla?
No, there doesn't seem to be at this point. Sorry.
And take Bree through the Omega range, Thurston Howe III. Maybe some Omegas might make sense. Yeah, we'll see about all that. And Chi says, I'm fine with Bree's choice. She's not asking for a Royal Oak. Yeah, we'll pass on the Royal Oak. Leslie says, should Craig get the day-date or the gold Grand Seiko? She's asking Bree. Well, I mean, I think that would be the Grand Seiko for sure. And Bree says he might want to get the Grand Seiko. Both of them are his favorites. Okay, so what do we got? We got a Casio that's super complicated.
And just this is just an answer to a question yesterday.
And it's, I mean, so go ahead.
Someone asked, do I have a G-Shock that is made in Japan? And it looks like the MRG series, which this is. This is an MRG G1000B and in titanium.
Oh, wow. The whole thing?
Yeah, beautiful piece.
Wow.
And this does say on the back, if I could get this showing, and if my camera doesn't punk out again, it says on there, made in Japan, and you can see it right there.
Yep, I see it.
And
I see it. Titanium made in Japan.
The rank and file.
That's a heavy-duty piece.
Are here, and just say
now, Kevin,
Japan.
Okay, so Kevin did ask. Do you have a G-Shock 2100 1AJF, whatever that is?
I'll have to look at my inventory to do that.
2100 1AJF. So yeah, let's see. And Feynman 981 says, I'll go for a ball watch. Have you seen that their second hand sweeps as smooth as a GS, but from a real automatic movement? Do you sell ball, don't you?
Yes. I don't know which model he's talking about.
Steve is a ball dealer, so he can hook you up.
Sure.
And does Fopé come in only yellow gold? No, his is like a rose gold, but it looks kind of yellow, he's saying. But it is technically rose gold, right?
What are we talking?
The Fopé bracelet.
It's rose gold nominally, but it's pretty yellow.
Got a little tint, little rose tint to it. It looks like to me, but it's gorgeous. It's stunning.
It could fit with a yellow gold watch. Actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking for that G-Shock model. And where'd that go?
Steve's showing us G-Shocks when he is wearing Peace, Unique, Patex, and sipping on Napoleon's private whiskey cabinet when the cameras are off. Oh, geez.
So
no. Steve's
talking
real.
About the GA 2100?
The 2100 AJF.
AJF.
2100-1 AJF is what he put in the chat. Whatever that is.
I have the Dash 4A. We have a lot of G-Shocks, but apparently not that one.
Okay. So you need to do a private chat with him so he can show you what he
anybody
has.
Can reach out to me, steve@littletreasury.com, and we can set up a text chat or a video chat and go through what we have.
Skype, just like we're doing now. They can Skype in, and then you can show them whatever they need to see. Yeah. So Let's see here. Blue, no. You could also get it in rose gold. Okay. And those G-Shocks are indestructible. I would think so. Uh, Before this stops, can we get a situation report on what is going on over there? We are many over here that are deeply concerned. I guess he means, I mean, the numbers are very low here in Maryland as far as people that are, you know, infected with this virus, and but that's everything's on lockdown. So yeah, I mean, as of now, things are pretty good as far as people's general health. I guess we won't really know what's going to happen with this whole thing until the lockdown ends and see if things start spreading again. But as of now, the numbers are pretty low.
Well, I
So
think we have 400 to 500 cases in our state.
I think
Yeah.
it's 1,200 in the entire Washington D.C. metropolitan area. Which is
But
a
New York's a
very
different story. I think
yeah
that really is not going well.
yeah. So the numbers are pretty low right now in this area, and hopefully it'll stay that way. And so far, the numbers have been pretty low in most places. New York, being an exception, but even New York, the numbers are lower than some people were saying they would be. So hopefully, it will not be as bad as a lot of the doom and gloom people were projecting. And I think that's why the stock market's been recovering the last couple of days. Is there's been some good news as far as the numbers go on this thing. So hopefully we're going to turn the corner sooner rather than later. And the ball Batman GMT is really cool. Steve, will you get those in stock? I know
We're going to get some variants. There's a raft of different color combinations for that model, I think you know. And if you're interested, I definitely can get one in stock.
Steve, do new customers ever laugh at the ball name?
Only if they're under 15.
Okay. And GA 2100 is the octagonal Casio oak.
Okay.
I guess it looks like
Thank
a
you.
Royal Oak or whatever. Okay. So I would probably pass on that anyway. So we call the GA 2100 the Casio Oak. Yeah, that probably would be one that I would pass on. Okay. Will do, thanks. Okay, Blue, if a customer buys 2 ball watches, do you congratulate them?
No, I
Buying
try
it
to sell
there?
them a third to spare them embarrassment.
Yeah. All right, so the coronavirus is afraid of catching Steve, so he is staying away from your
Right.
area. Okay. Craig, I just sent you some pics of what Bree might like. Check it out, Ray in the house. Okay, we'll do that after after the Stevester pops out.
Yeah,
Ball also makes a good world timer.
they
What
do.
happened to Blue Shirt Buddha? That's
Oh, right.
it's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good question. Unless everyone gets tested, I'd take these high hospitalization rates with a grain of salt. Well, yeah. Somebody pointed out that the flu season is pretty bad this year. So some hospitals were already being stressed just because of the flu situation. So, yeah, I mean, if they're stressed now, it may or may not be because of this unique virus. It might be because of the flu, but we don't know. It's not affecting me, I can tell you that. This is a flu-free zone here. So we're just moving forward, full speed ahead.
But
Steve,
you're up in the mountains.
I'm in a protected area. Anybody that tries to get anywhere near here, it doesn't bode well for how that's going to work out for them. So yeah, it's a real problem approaching this area. So Steve, I wear a Seiko Presage cocktail time as work beater. Is it durable enough for the shocks blows? Seiko Presage.
I would save it for cocktail time myself. Uh, it's a beautiful watch. I'm not sure it's made for work beating, but go for it. They're
Crystal
reasonable.
and bezel are already gashed up, but it keeps perfect
Right.
time. Well, that tells you right there. Then it's holding
Uh-huh.
up pretty good. Craig, do you people ever laugh at the? We already. Oh, okay. He's quoting your reply. Yeah, of course. You should have added only people under 15 that are in their mom's basement.
Right.
So, coronavirus tried to infect Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris put coronavirus in quarantine. This flu is still ongoing, correct?
Yes.
Chi-Town, yes. The flu and the coronavirus are both ongoing, and it's a pretty bad flu season. So there's that. Steve wears, and that's why, folks, eat right and take care of yourself and exercise. Build up your immunity so you don't catch these silly bugs. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Have you ever heard that saying, Steve?
No.
Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. So that's how that works. Take responsibility and take care of yourself. Let's see. Steve wears that tie because it reminds him of his youth wrestling leopards to build up his speed and strength for the Olympics. And by Olympics, I mean the real one, where he competes with gods.
Wow.
Steve's pretty much all that. If you want a work beater, then get a dive watch. Yeah, get a 231 is what you should get.
Good suggestion.
You got a
We have
231.
a big stock of Seiko dive watches, very rugged.
There you go. He can hook you up with a Seiko dive watch too. If the 231 is too high a step up, go for a Seiko dive watch. Craig and Steve, thank you. Stig in the house. Nice show. Love Steve showing the watches. Any other watches to show before you pop out?
I think I'm exhausted, so I think I'm going to go home and have a dinner and maybe have one of those bourbons beforehand. And
LittleTreasury.com. LittleTreasury.com. The link is in the chat.
Yeah, reach out to me, guys, when we're not on, and we can have a personal chat, and maybe we can do a deal on a watch. We've got to keep the business going here. It's very quiet.
That's right. And 2020 Summer Olympic canceled. Well, I mean, we're going to have it at Steve's place. Is the way we're going to do that. Steve's going to take over. Do all the heavy lifting after.
I'm going to do the leopard wrestling. Remember.
Yeah. After this whole thing's over, Steve's going to do the heavy lifting. I especially like dive watches because they're easy to wash and disinfect. Steve, what is your go-to bourbon?
Whatever you give me.
There you go. He accepts bourbon gifts. Little Treasury, nothing little about their supply of watches. There you go. That's right. Little Treasury oxymoron because Steve has more gold than Fort Knox. There you go.
Wishes.
Moving along. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to do this again, and hopefully you're going to be doing some shows yourself on the channel.
I am. Well, definitely next Wednesday. You all know we're coming on with Joe Kirk, the official trainer for Grand Seiko, and the brand something or other. He has a elevated title there, but he knows what he's doing, and it should be very interesting. Come armed with questions.
And he's going to Skype in to your system there. Good.
Yeah, he is.
So I would create that event the day before, get a nice thumbnail up so we can share it around. And get it out there populating around. So next Wednesday, folks, don't miss that show. Do you have a time frame?
5 o'clock.
So same time, same bat channel, same bat time.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Popping off. Thank you, everybody.
Yep. And that was Steve, Little Treasury Jewelers, LittleTreasuryJewelers.com. So keep him in mind, and I'm going to pull up, without further ado, I'm going to try to pull up these emails that were in question. And let's see here. Give me a moment. Okay, so here's the entry-level diver. I'm going to pull that up first. This was an Orient that was suggested as an entry-level diver. I would say so. Good looking piece. Nice solid hands. Nice, very legible. Day and date on there. So folks, anybody that wants a entry-level diver, Kyle sent that suggestion on. And let's see what Ray sent. Okay, and that's an interesting piece. I'm not so sure about that though. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I don't like the way that 9 is a whole different color. I think that 9 should have been the same color as the 12 and the 6. That was a little bit of a misstep design on that one, if you ask me, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Let's keep looking. And that is a very nice case design. Look at the shape of that case. That is very nice. That case is very similar to a Rolex Oyster case. Very nice lugs on that. You know, that's what they should do to the Super case, is they should go back to more of a Oyster case design on the Rolex Super case, because that was a total fail. And here's another picture of the watch. It might look better in person than I'm thinking. That 9, it's a little toned down in that picture. It might look pretty good. It might look pretty cool. But I'm a little more conservative, so I would probably go with a different dial if it were me. But yeah, that might be pretty cool in person. Some of these things you just have to see them in person before you can really know what to do. And let's see, and that's it for now on the emails. Okay, so I'm going to take this headset off. I don't think Bree is in the chat anymore, so I don't think she's going to pop in via Skype today. Maybe another day. Let's see. Would you accept full bottles of Pappy Van Winkle as payment? There's something going on. Word is there's no gold at Fort Knox. Okay. I think Joe Kirk's title is U.S. Sales Training Manager. Not sure, though. Okay. Ray says, thanks, Steve. And Whiskey's Big Bucks. There you go. Craig, do you look up to Steve? He is a man among boys. He's a good guy. I like Steve. He's treated me right so far. So far, so good. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he gets the 002 in stock. I mean, I'm sitting here chomping at the bit, waiting, and he said the end of the month. It's the 26th. It's pretty close to the end of the month, and I haven't gotten the call. So let's see what happens there. Yeah. And speaking of the 002, let's show that one more time here. The 002, that's the item in question, the Stunner, the Grand Seiko 18 karat gold Stunner. He's supposed to have 2 of those coming in, so let's see what happens. Let's see if he gets them in stock. Let's see. Orient watches are some of the best bang for the buck watches out there. Yeah. Scotch single malt whiskey anytime. Lewis R. That's because Seiko owns Orient. As it goes up market, Orient is being positioned as the new affordable. Okay. Nice limited edition salmon color dial. Blue says in the house. Valvening. I can't pronounce Talisker. Oh, is that liquor that we're talking about? Okay, I'm not a liquor guy. What's your favorite restaurant? Asking me. I don't eat out that often anymore. I used to eat out a lot, but not as often anymore. I eat at some events, where they have food at events and things like that. But as far as like going out to a restaurant and just sitting down and eating dinner and all that, I just don't take the time to do that anymore. I used to. Years ago, I used to eat out a lot. But I think I eat a lot healthier now, and I don't spend the money. I'm a little bit cheap. A little bit of a cheapskate. Let's check the time. So we've been going on for a little over an hour. Not bad. Honestly, I'd rather have a Day-Date 36, simply a classic. As an all-arounder, if you're going to wear the watch all the time, I agree. A Day-Date 36 is virtually impossible to beat, but I'm not looking for a watch to wear all the time because I like wearing my 236 a lot of the time. And the problem is, if I was rotating a Day-Date with that, I'd be right back to the same problem I had before, which caused me to sell my Day-Date, which was the Day-Date kept stopping and I kept having to restart it. And I don't like having to unscrew the crown, wind it up, set the day and the date, go through all that nonsense, wear it for a couple days, set it down for a day or two, and then have to go through that whole process again. It just got old, and so I sold it. So, yeah, but if you're wearing a day date all the time and you're not taking it off wrist for a couple days at a time, absolutely, it's a fantastic piece. You'll never hear me say anything other than that. Single malts, Craig. Okay. Craig, you're right about the maxi case. I'm not too pleased about it. Yeah, I would pass on that. Craig, do you have high alcohol content aftershave? You can use that as hand sanitizer in a pinch. I don't use any hand sanitizer at all. It actually is not good for your skin, and not good for the pH on your skin. So actually, it does more harm than good to use that stuff. So, and I have a very strong immune system, so I just don't catch colds or flus or any of those kinds of things. I'm pretty much immune to any of that. My immune system is pretty much unbelievable. I mean, Brianna has been here several times when she was just really sick. I mean, really sick. She had bronchitis one time, and that's highly contagious, right? And, I was very close to Brianna, and I didn't catch anything several times. Ask her. She'll tell you. I just don't catch anything. I haven't had a cold for 5 years. I haven't had a cold for as long as I can remember. I haven't had a cold. So it's just not a thing with me. The barbecue was indeed awesome. I wish Rolex would incorporate a power reserve on some of their sport pieces during the house. Can you explain GMT, Greenwich Mean Time? That's what it stood for, Greenwich Mean Time. Craig, look up the 7900 CAFE. Someone who was around in the 70s. What do you think of this Neo retro bike? Let's see. 7900 Z900. I'm sorry, I can't read. Z900. I guess it's a G900 RS Cafe. Yeah, Kawasaki. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be a fan. I'm not a big fan of cafe style bikes. Is this one actually for sale? Oh, that's a model or something, I guess. Oh, it's a print. Well, anyway, you know what it looks like. Not a big fan of cafe style. My motorcycles were usually full dress Harleys or full dress BMW, like I had an R100 RT. I did have an R80 GS, which is was the on-off road bike, the bike that was designed to compete in the Paris to Dakar race, and it did win a couple of years, maybe even the first year out. It won the race. I had a 1984 R80 GS, but I had an R100 RT, which is more of a full dress BMW. And then later on, I had several full dress Harleys, ultra classic, top of the line Harley, which was just a very comfortable bike to just cruise around. Have your girl hop on the back and just go for a nice long tour. So I enjoyed those. 4 speakers, stereo, nice sound system, nice comfortable bike. I'm not into the hyper bikes or the race bikes or any of that stuff. I'm into just low and slow, just kind of cruising around and touring and having a good time. Let's see, not good for your skin. Oh, my hand only looks like someone put it through an oven from all this hand sanitizer. It would be nice if we could see you live in a Rolex store looking at selection. Oh, yeah, we'll see about that. Most of them won't allow you to do that, I don't think. Let's see. Craig, did you ever own one of those gold or brown Honda 70s bikes? Honda 70s. I think I had one of those little Honda 50s. I had a Honda 350. I had a Honda 350 two-cylinder twin. Those were very common, very, very reliable, very durable bike. I think that was my first motorcycle. Did Steve ever tell you the story of when he hit a hawk with a spear in the Arabian desert and was made a member of the tribe? Hey, that's a good one. Bikes from the 1970s, I mean. My heaviest duty bike was my Honda, was it an XL 500 on off-road? 500cc, one cylinder. That thing was a beast. I think I showed a picture in a previous show of me getting some air with it. That was a beast. I even submerged it completely in a huge puddle, if you will. You could call it a puddle, but I mean, it was like the water was like 6 feet deep. I literally, at full throttle, we were going through these like these paths, these like along these power lines or whatever, and there was all this standing water, and we're going through all this standing water, you know, having a blast, just full throttle through this stuff, and all of a sudden I came to a section where the water was literally like 6 feet deep, and just totally submerged the whole bike, me included. Everything just went totally under the water. My buddy who was following me, he stopped, and we got the bike out of the water as quick as we possibly could. And we were miles from the road. I mean, just miles. And once we got it out of the water, we got it out as quick as we possibly could. There's no way we could start that thing. It was done, right? And so I remember we had to push that thing all the way back to the road, get it loaded up, get back. And my mechanic at the time, I had a small car lot, electric car dealership, and we had used cars as well, antique classic cars, stuff like that. He spent a couple hours on it, took it apart, and took the carburetor off and stuff, and dried it all out and cleaned it all out, put oil in it and all, and it just started right up and was always fine after that, no big deal. But yeah, that thing was a beast. Let's see. After all this virus stuff has passed, can we get Craig to visit Grand Seiko in Japan for a live report? Maybe ask Joe Kirk. They've invited me to go in the past, and I just don't know if I can take the time. I'd love to do it, but I just don't know if I can take the time. We'll see, though. Those Harleys are good for hauling groceries and such as well. Absolutely. Like Triumph personally. Yeah, Triumphs are pretty cool. They give a lot more trouble, though, even than Harleys, I think. And Harleys are pretty bad. Overuse of hand sanitizer, one reason why immune systems are so weak now. There you go. That could be it. All right. Well, I'm not doing it. I'm going to wrap this puppy up, and we will do it again, is what we'll do. In the meantime, you guys subscribe, click the like, and click that little bell so that you don't miss a show. So you do not miss a show.